What's up, guys? Today we're checking out the top 6 SUVs that are actually worth your money in 2025. Because let's be honest, not every used SUV is a smart buy. Stick around till the end because the last one might surprise you. And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your guess for number 1. Number 6, Toyota RAV4 2016 to 2019. If you want an SUV that just works and won't empty your wallet, the Toyota RAV4 from 2016 to 2019 is one of the safest bets out there. It's not fast, it's not flashy, but it's built like a tank. Toyota nailed the formula for reliability. Simple mechanics, low maintenance costs, and a resale value that refuses to die. In today's used market, you'll find clean examples between $12,000 and $20,000, depending on mileage and trim. The LE and XLE versions usually hover around the lower end, while the limited trims can stretch closer to that 20 grand mark. That's still a bargain for a car that'll outlast most of its competition. Power comes from a 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine, making about 176 horsepower. It's not exciting, but it gets the job done. You're looking at roughly 25 mpg city and 33 mpg highway, which is solid for an SUV of this size. The 6-speed automatic is smooth and predictable. Nothing fancy, but that's kind of the point. Reliability is where this SUV really shines. Owners routinely see these go past 200,000 miles with nothing more than oil changes, brake pads, and maybe a new set of tires. Toyota parts are cheap and everywhere, so even if something breaks, fixing it won't kill your paycheck. Of course, no used SUV is perfect. There was a recall for loose battery mounts on some 2013 to 2018 models, so always check the VIN. You might also find some suspension wear or wheel bearing noise on higher mileage units, normal stuff for vehicles this age. The RAV4 is like that one friend who never flakes. It won't wow you, but it'll always show up and get you where you need to go. For under 20 grand in 2025, it's still one of the best deals in the used SUV world, the definition of money well spent.
Number 5. Hyundai Tucson, 2018 to 2021. A decade ago, buying a used Hyundai meant you were settling. Not anymore. The 2018 to 2021 Hyundai Tucson flipped the script. Stylish, comfortable, reliable, and priced right. It's one of those SUVs that makes you wonder why people are still paying extra for a CR-V or a RAV4. You can find good examples of this generation Tucson in 2025 for $13,000 to $21,000, depending on miles and trim. Even the mid-range SEL and value trims often land around the $16K to $18K mark, giving you a ton of features for the price, like a modern infotainment system, solid materials, and that 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty Hyundai's famous for. Under the hood, most models come with a 2.0-liter or 2.4-liter four-cylinder engine, producing between 161 and 181 horsepower. It's not exactly thrilling, but it's plenty for city driving or long highway runs. Expect around 23 mpg city and 30 mpg highway, which means you won't be crying at the gas station every week. The interior is surprisingly nice for the price. Everything feels solid, the tech works without drama, and the ride is smoother than you'd expect. Hyundai finally figured out how to build a cabin that feels modern without being complicated. It's one of those cars where you get in and go, wait, this is a Hyundai? Downsides? The 2.0-liter engine can feel underpowered when loaded with passengers, and early 2018 models had some reports of transmission hesitation. Nothing deal-breaking, but it's worth a test drive before buying. Overall, the Tucson is the definition of a value buy. For under 20 grand, you're getting a newer-looking SUV that's comfortable, well-equipped, and backed by one of the best warranties in the business. It's the kind of deal that makes you feel smart every time you turn the key.
Number 4. Ford Escape 2017 to 2019. The Ford Escape is like that fun friend who's got energy to spare, maybe a little unpredictable, but never boring. Between 2017 and 2019, Ford gave this SUV some real spark. It's stylish, quick for its size, and packed with enough tact to still feel modern in 2025. On the used market right now, you'll find solid examples of the Escape for $10,000 to $18,000, depending on trim and mileage. The base S and SE trims usually land around 11K to 14K, while the titanium trims with the turbo engine and fancy features can stretch closer to 18K. For that money, it's one of the few compact SUVs that actually feels a little sporty to drive. Power-wise, Ford offered 3 engines, a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, a 1.5-liter EcoBoost, and the beast of the bunch, the 2.0-liter EcoBoost, making about 245 horsepower. That last one turns this SUV into a bit of a sleeper. It's punchy off the line and smooth on the highway. Fuel economy isn't bad either, coming in around 23 mpg city and 30 mpg highway. Inside, the Escape feels surprisingly upscale for what it costs. Even mid-level trims come with soft-touch materials, dual-zone climate control, and Ford's Sync 3 infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's practical, roomy enough for a small family, and the seats are comfortable for long drives. You can tell Ford wanted this thing to compete hard with the Japanese brands, and honestly, it does. Now, real talk, the Escape isn't perfect. The EcoBoost engines are strong but need proper maintenance. Skip oil changes or ignore a small leak and you'll regret it fast. Some owners reported coolant leaks and occasional transmission shudder on higher mileage units. So when shopping, make sure you check service records and get a pre-purchase inspection. The good news? Parts are easy to find, repairs aren't crazy expensive, and there are tons of these SUVs out there, so you can afford to be picky. Find one with low miles and a clean history, and you've got a lively, comfortable SUV that doesn't feel like a compromise. The 2017 to 2019 Ford Escape is that middle ground between practicality and fun. It's the SUV for people who don't want to fall asleep at the wheel. For under 18 grand in 2025, it's a lot of car for the money. Just make sure you treat it right, and it'll return the favor.
Number 3. Subaru Forester, 2017 to 2020. If you want a used SUV that laughs in the face of bad weather, the Subaru Forester is your guy. Between 2017 and 2020, this thing built a cult following for being the all-weather, all-purpose, go-anywhere SUV that never quits. It's not about flash, it's about function. You buy a Forester when you care more about getting there than looking cool doing it. On the used market in 2025, you'll find these going for $10,000 to $18,000, depending on trim, condition, and miles. Most clean 2.5i premium models sit right around $14,000 to $15,000. For that price, you're getting one of the most capable small SUVs money can buy, especially if you live anywhere that gets snow. Every Forester from this generation comes standard with Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive, which is basically like having cheat codes for bad weather. It grips the road like crazy, and even when things get sketchy, the Forester stays composed. Under the hood, you get a 2.5-liter flat-4 engine making around 170 horsepower. It's not a rocket, but it's built to last. Subaru engines are known to hit 200,000 miles if you keep up with oil changes. Fuel economy is also decent, with about 26 mpg city and 32 mpg highway, which is solid for an AWD SUV. The continuously variable transmission, CVT, might not be everyone's favorite, but it helps keep those mpg numbers respectable. And if you've ever driven a Subaru in the rain or snow, you already know that AWD system is worth its weight in gold. Inside, the Forester is all about practicality. Great visibility, comfortable seats, a tall cabin, and solid build quality. You won't find luxury car materials here, but everything feels tough, like it's meant to handle family life, pets, road trips, and all the chaos that comes with it. The 2019 refresh added a better infotainment system and Subaru's EyeSight safety suite, which includes adaptive cruise and lane keep assist. Now the downsides. Some older Foresters burn a little oil. Not all of them, but it's something Subaru owners love to complain about. Also, the CVT can feel a bit lazy if you're used to traditional automatics. But other than that, this SUV has a rock-solid reputation for dependability. Bottom line, if you live somewhere with snow, dirt roads, or sketchy weather, the Forester is a no-brainer. For under 18 grand, you get AWD confidence, great resale value, and a reputation for reliability that's earned, not hyped. It's not flashy, but it's one of those cars you'll miss the day you sell it.
Number 2. The Kia Sportage, 2018 to 2021.
If you're looking for a small SUV that delivers more than you'd expect for the money, the Kia Sportage from 2018 to 2021 deserves a serious look. It's one of those cars that flies under the radar. Stylish enough to stand out, reliable enough to trust, and cheap enough to make sense. On the used market right now, you'll find these Sportages going for around $10,000 to $21,000, depending on trim, mileage, and condition. The sweet spot tends to be right around $13,000 to $17,000 for a clean EX or LX with average miles. That's a lot of SUV for the price, especially when you see how well equipped they are. Under the hood, you'll usually find a 2.4-liter four-cylinder engine making about 181 horsepower, paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission. It's not fast, nobody's drag racing in a Sportage, but it's smooth, predictable, and dependable. You'll get around 23 mpg city and 30 mpg highway, which is respectable for a small SUV with decent weight to it. Inside, the Sportage punches above its price class. The interior feels solid, the materials look better than what you'd expect from a budget SUV, and everything's laid out where it should be. Most trims include Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, decent speakers, and enough tech to keep you comfortable and connected. Cargo space is generous and visibility is excellent. No blind spot nightmares here. Now for the real talk. The 2.4 engine can feel a bit sluggish when loaded with people or luggage, and the suspension gets a little noisy as it ages. You might hear a few creaks on rough pavement, but that's normal wear and tear. Just make sure to check maintenance records, oil changes, transmission fluid, and suspension components. If it's been cared for, it'll treat you well. The 2018 to 2021 Sportage is one of those you get more than you pay for cars. It's not glamorous, but it's honest. Solid reliability, comfortable ride, and great value. For under $18,000, it's an SUV that proves you don't need to spend luxury money to get a dependable daily driver.
Number 1. Chevrolet Equinox 2018 to 2020. If you want a used SUV that gives you comfort, space, and solid reliability without killing your budget, the Chevrolet Equinox from 2018 to 2020 is one of the best deals out there. It's not a head-turner, but it's the kind of SUV that quietly does everything right, and that's exactly why it's worth the money. On the used market in 2025, you'll see plenty of these going for $9,000 to $17,000, depending on trim, miles, and condition. The sweet spot is around $13,500 for a clean LT or Premier trim. For what you get, that's a steal, especially if you want something newer looking without paying new car prices. Under the hood, you'll find either a 1.5-liter turbo four-cylinder or a 2.0-liter on higher trims. The smaller one focuses on fuel economy, while the 2.0 gives you more punch, around 252 horsepower, which makes this SUV surprisingly quick. Expect about 26 mpg city and 32 mpg highway with the 1.5 turbo, and a bit less if you go for the 2.0. Both are paired with a smooth 6-speed automatic that keeps things simple and reliable. Inside, the Equinox feels like it was built for real life. There's plenty of room for passengers, a good amount of cargo space, and all the tech you'd expect. Touchscreen infotainment with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, backup camera, blind spot monitoring, and solid safety features. It's not luxury, but it's comfortable and user-friendly, which is exactly what most people want in a daily driver. Now, a bit of reality check. Some high-mileage models have had issues with transmission shudder or small oil leaks, especially if the previous owner skipped maintenance. The turbo engines like fresh oil, so check the service records before you buy. The good news is that parts are cheap and easy to find, and repairs don't cost an arm and a leg on some imports. Bottom line, the 2018-2020 Equinox is an honest, dependable SUV that gives you a lot for the money. For under $17,000, you get a modern look, solid performance, great comfort, and low ownership costs. It's not flashy, but it's practical, reliable, and perfect for anyone who just wants something that works without drama. Would you actually buy one of these, or stay far, far away? Which SUV surprised you the most today? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more Real Talk car videos. And I'll catch you in the next one.